Mercedes-Benz will beat Tesla to market in one of the most anticipated high-tech features in the automotive industry right now, but of course there is a caveat. I will also tell you what this adorable kitten has to do with the story, plus the host of State of Charge YouTube channel, Tom Moloughney, will be here to tell us if Mercedes has indeed out-Teslaed Tesla. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. When you think of the best self-driving tech, you definitely think of Tesla. They were pretty much the very first automaker to even put it in their cars back in 2014. Since then, other companies have challenged Tesla for the crown, with Waymo and Cruise recently launching their driverless ride-sharing services, and Too Simple with their driver-out semi-truck services. All of those have no humans behind the wheel. That's right, we can argue whether or not we need to remove radars or lidars from self-driving suites, but everyone agrees that one thing that does not belong behind the wheel is humans. But when it came to consumer cars, Tesla has still been pretty far ahead of everyone. For example, Chevy's Super Cruise has been an underwhelming mess, seen here actively trying to ram an innocent YouTuber into other cars and a freeway divider. Don't worry, I'm okay, the damage was mainly emotional. And Ford's Blue Cruise is not that much better either, though I should mention that a Chinese automaker Xpeng Motors is actually very close, if not as good as Tesla, but they're pretty much mainly available in China for now. The competition between Tesla and the German automakers, from which market share Tesla has taken a considerable chunk from, has heated up this week, as Tesla has finally opened up a factory in Germany, which will be able to output up to 500,000 cars a year in Europe. Tesla's factory started operations after almost a year-long delay, but not the kind of a delay that a Mercedes-Benz factory has recently experienced, having to shut down for a bit while a Leopard snuck in and had Mercedes workers running for their lives. But don't worry, at the end of the day, back to the cage, given a warm meal. Oh, and the Leopard was okay too. But the big news, and I'm assuming the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place, is this week Mercedes-Benz has announced that they are essentially going to be the first to market with Level 3 autonomous driving. The Level 3 is when the driver doesn't really have to pay attention to the road at all, like having to keep the hands on the wheel or the eyes on the road, or as some of us call it, you know, driving. Mercedes now says that while their Drive Pilot system is on, the driver can essentially do whatever he or she wants as long as they can take control back from the system when needed. Though I gotta say that whoever made this video for Mercedes didn't realize that playing Tetris may just be the only other thing more tedious and useless than actually sitting in traffic. But the system only works in very certain conditions. Pay attention now, Tesla fans, because this is where you get the juice for all of the angry comments down below. First, it's been only approved in Germany, where Mercedes is planning on launching it in the next few months. They're also trying to get it approved in California and Nevada before the end of the year. Secondly, in Germany, it will only work on total of about 8,000 miles of various highways during the day in good weather and under 37 miles an hour. Now you're probably asking, well, who the hell drives 37 miles an hour or less on a highway besides like half of Prius drivers? But not you. You're a great driver. Though don't forget to turn that blinker off. Well, this seems to suggest that it's designed to only have the system engage during traffic, which arguably is when you need it the most because, you know, it's hard to pay attention to sudden stops when you're playing Tetris. Now, obviously, this is just the beginning, and it's safe to assume that the coverage area will grow and other limitations will ease up, but the biggest groundbreaking announcement about this move didn't even come straight from Mercedes, but from the Road and Track publication. I will tell you all about it in just 1 second, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by EV Charge for You. Do you live in an apartment or a condo complex in the San Francisco Bay Area and have trouble convincing the management or HOA to get your own EV charger installed? Well, with the load management box from EV Charge for You, you can now install the charger of your choice, all without worrying about additional or hidden fees to get charged. Find out how by using the link in the description of this video. So, Mercedes launching a level 3 tech ahead of Tesla is a big deal, even though it is limited in many ways. However, Mercedes has taken this to a whole new level. Pun intended. And according to the Road and Track, once the system is engaged, the driver will be, and I quote, no longer legally liable for the car's operation until it disengages. Now that's a first. That's how you know you can count on this technology, even though in very limited cases. Now, I know I mentioned that Mercedes will be the first brand to level 3 technology in consumer cars, but it's not 100% correct. There are 2 exceptions that I know of. One is Honda, that did launch a level 3 option on their Legend last year in Japan, but only made 100 of those and priced them at over $100,000. I'm assuming because if any of those 100 people get into a car accident, Honda's legal defense can easily make a claim that these people have a history of poor decision making, considering they did buy a Honda Legend for over $100,000. Now, the second level 3 technology that made it to the market before was actually from Tesla. Yes, originally when Tesla released the very first version of the autopilot in October of 2014, I was one of the owners, you didn't have to keep your eyes on the road or hands on the wheel, which made it level 3, until they quickly took it away after realizing that Tesla owners sometimes do stupid things, which never has happened since. Okay, I think it might have gotten actually worse. Mercedes has also announced another feature that Tesla had for a while and is one of the most head-turning and awesome ones, which is the intelligent park pilot for the all-electric EQS, where you can leave a car at the curb and have it park itself in the garage or a parking lot and then come back to you once you're done. For more, we turn to the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel in a self-driving machine of his own, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, it was great to see you in Spain, Madrid, for a couple of days in person.
Yeah, it was cool, Alex. You know, we used to see each other at these events all the time, but then COVID came, so now hasn't been quite as many trips. So it was cool to hang out, catch up a bit in Madrid.
Same. Well, let's jump right in. You know, we don't expect, German auto manufacturers, specifically Mercedes-Benz, to lead the way as far as software is concerned, but it looks like they might just edge ahead by a little bit. What are your thoughts on this?
It's really not too surprising to me. I think the OEMs, all of them, Germans included, understand how important it is, how vital it is for their company's future to get these ADAS systems, autonomous driving systems, implemented in their vehicles. So I know they all have tons of people working on them, even if you don't hear about it quite as much as you do from that one electric EV maker here in the US.
All right, well, let's talk about Tesla then, because Tesla's taking a very different approach. Tesla's approach is like, listen, once we put something on the market, it's going to work at all times, everywhere, whatever weather conditions. Compared to the Mercedes and pretty much everyone else's approach, like, hey, listen, if we're going to release something, it's going to be very limited, but you guys can really, really count on that, and then we'll expand to more. Which one is better for consumers?
So I wish I could tell you, because we don't know yet. That hasn't been decided, Alex, in my opinion. There's still a long way to go. We're still at the beginning of this self-driving tech stuff, but Tesla has taken a different approach than pretty much everybody else. All of the other companies are doing pretty much what Mercedes is doing, that path with mapped streets, controlled conditions, and Tesla's just kind of saying, look, we're going to use cameras and we're going to make it work everywhere under every condition. And if they're successful, then that was the better way. But that's yet to be seen. We don't know if they're going to be successful yet. You've seen some of the beta, full self-driving, they're making progress, but, that wouldn't happen in a Mercedes. The Mercedes self-driving systems wouldn't behave like Tesla FSD Beta does. We know that.
Yes, and this is where I guess the meat of the story is. They're actually going to be taking legal responsibility for whatever happens when you're using their technology. How big is that?
So yeah, that's huge. How could you be better for showing that you have confidence in your system than saying, look, it's on us. If anything messes up, we'll take legal responsibility. So I think that's, gives the consumers the confidence that the system works. It's not that surprising, again, because that's the way the industry's going. I believe when we get to level 4 and level 5 autonomy, that's going to be common, that the automakers are going to say, look, this will not make a mistake. We'll take liability. But for Mercedes to do that with a level 3 system, that's pretty aggressive.
It is. Now, listen, Tesla has always been the leader in pretty much every single category, when everybody kind of started about a decade ago with electric cars. But now, little by little, other manufacturers are kind of hacking away at its crown. Now, Mercedes first to level 3, Honda aside. Do you think this is good for consumers, once again, that we kind of get a variety of leaders in the industry? Or do you think it's good when Tesla is the leader because they're really pushing the envelope in every single category?
So obviously, I believe it's good that we're seeing this, Alex, because we need all of the OEMs pushing the envelope, not just one company going out there and leading. GM Super Cruise, Ford's Blue Cruise, they're both really good systems in their own right. They're not level 3 yet, but they're getting close. So it's good to have some pressure on Tesla and let these other companies come out with something and put Tesla on the defense for a change rather than them pushing everybody else. So I like it.
Now, how important is this? Because it has always been important to me that the consumer does not have to actually keep their eyes on the road and hands on the wheel, because to me, that's a true full self-driving, if you will. Do you think this is like the most important step in the autonomous driving technology, is when finally we don't need the human being in control of a car? Because we're not very good at it.
So yeah, they're all very important steps. Level 2 is a huge step. Level 3 is a bigger step, but it's not the most important step. No, I think the jump to level 4 is going to be really, because that's when you could go to sleep, So, I think that's really the biggest step to take. This is a huge step. It's great, but understand it has its limitations. Mercedes is only saying it can operate up to 37 miles an hour, and it has to be on mapped roads. Now, the mapped roads are generally the major highways. And how often do you drive 37 miles an hour on a major highway? You do that when you're in traffic jams. So, it sounds great, but there's severe limitations to it. I don't think it's going to be able to be used in a whole lot of situations that you might encounter. It's still great to see them putting it out there, but until that level 3 can go 75, 80 miles an hour, I don't think it's really ready to get too excited over at this point.
All right, well, since I already have you here, we should let our audience know that we were in Spain as guests of Nissan to drive the Nissan Ariya. Really quickly, what are your thoughts now that you got to get behind of the wheel of one?
So, I think it's a really nice, competent crossover. It's, just basically a different flavor of ID4, Mustang Mach-E, Ioniq 5, EV6, maybe even Model Y a little bit. It's in that class, and it's just Nissan's version of it. Did it do anything amazing? No. Did it do anything really poorly? No. It's just, another one of these compact crossovers that everybody seems to love. I think we're at about 33% of the new vehicles bought in the US are these compact crossovers. So everybody wants them. And now we just have another variant of that. It's not going to, drag people out of all the other brands to go to Nissan. But, it's a decent vehicle. And I think the people that are Nissan fans are going to like it.
Don't forget to subscribe to Tom's channel, State of Charge. I put a link to it in the description of this video. Also, don't forget to join me live for our weekly subscriber hangout on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. You can set a reminder on the homepage of this channel. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember, to stay charged.